Hello everyone, so I have finally decided to put my lessons onto YouTube, just focusing on what I would do in my own practice every day, mainly doing a practice that feels good for my body on that day. I don't really concentrate on, say, doing back bends for that lesson or forward folds for that lesson. I just try and go with what my body needs in that particular instance or that particular practice, and I'm hoping you'll enjoy my classes. Be mindful of your own body, see what's happening in your body, maybe not doing everything, maybe do everything, and I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. Take a deep breath in, closing into the eyes, finding a comfortable seat, and exhaling all the breath out. Just breathing at your own easy pace for now. See how the breath is moving in the body. Feel the breath moving through the chest and into the belly. Notice how the shoulders are lifting away and then dropping again. Now starting to bring a little bit more control to the breath, deepening the breath a little bit more. Inhaling through the nose, filling up the whole diaphragm, and exhaling through the nose. With every breath, feel the sit bones grounding into the mat. And feel your spine start to lengthen a little bit, sitting up a little bit taller, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Crown of the head is drawing towards the ceiling. And starting to relax into the jaw, into the shoulders. And slowly starting to open the eyes. Moving yourself onto all fours, hands will come underneath the shoulders, knees will come underneath the hips. You're coming into a kind of tabletop. And on an inhale, drop the hips down low, look up towards the ceiling. And exhale, start to round into the spine, push the shoulder blades away from each other, tailbone is tucking in. Inhale, dropping the hips down low, shoulder blades draw towards each other, looking up towards the ceiling. And exhale, rounding into the spine, pushing the shoulder blades away, keeping that space between your chest and the mat. Inhale, drop. And exhale, round. And trying to move with your breath, consciously moving all the time. And taking one more round, lifting up, and then coming into a neutral spine. Feel your chest still pushing away from the floor, so your shoulders are still rounding a little bit up towards the ceiling. Belly is turning on, so you want to feel that lower belly turning on. There's a very slight tuck in the tailbone. Be conscious of what's happening in your core. Tuck into the toes, push your chest all the way to the thighs, hold it here for a moment, just stretch out the backs of the feet a little bit, just pushing the sit bones back towards the heels, coming into a tucked toe, child's pose if you will, and then slowly starting to extend the legs, trying to keep the chest as close to the thighs as you can for as long as possible. Coming into your downward facing dog, bending into one leg and then the other. Just moving it around a little bit. Maybe moving the neck from side to side. Maybe coming up onto the toes and then dropping the heels a little bit. Just moving around for a few breaths. Just warming up into that back side of the body. Now starting to find some stillness in the down dog, moving into your controlled breath,
Maybe making the inhales and exhales even. Maybe inhaling for a count of 4 and then exhaling for a count of 4 through the nose. Finding a little bit of that contraction at the back of the throat. And the breath is almost becoming a little bit audible. And from here, slowly rolling all the way through to a plank. Really using that belly to help you get there. And on an exhale, lowering your knees down to the floor, moving the shoulders over the hands, taking the chest and chin down to the floor. And then moving slowly and up, coming into a baby cobra. And tuck into the toes. Push the seat all the way back to the heels, moving all the way back to downward facing dog. And again, inhale, moving forward to a plank, rolling the spine forward to a plank. Exhale, again, moving the shoulders over the hands, bend the arms to 90 degrees. Inhale, untuck the toes, lift the shoulders up, lift the hips up, coming into your up dog. And then exhale, rolling over the toes, moving all the way back to downward facing dog. And from here, slowly start to move the feet up towards the front of the mat, keeping them hip distance apart. Either taking your hands down to the floor, hanging the head down low, or grab hold of opposite elbows. Take a bend in the knees if it feels good for now. You want to start feeling the weight of the head drawing down towards the floor, really stretching into the neck, into the spine. And maybe rock it from side to side if it feels good. And from here, deeply bending into the knees, slowly rounding yourself all the way up to come and stand, trying to bring one vertebra on top of the other. Head comes up last. Feel like the head is part of the spine that's stacking on top of the spine. Toes and heels to touch, coming to stand in Tadasana. Feel the hands drawing down towards the floor next to the hips, and maybe lift up the shoulders and then gently roll them back and drop them down. Tucking into the tailbone slightly, lifting the soles of the feet away from the floor. As soon as you do that, you start to feel the thighs turn on, pulling the thigh muscles away from the kneecaps. And from here, taking the palms forward and up, looking up towards the fingers. Exhale, folding all the way over the legs, hands in line with the feet, bend the knees if you need to. Inhale to a halfway lift, lengthening out that spine, either keeping your hands on the floor or taking your hands to the shins, but trying to lengthen that spine up as much as you can. And then taking your hands down to the floor, exhale, moving back to your plank, bending your arms to 90 degrees, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog, holding for 5. Inhale, exhale 1, inhale, exhale 2, and for 3, and 4, and 5. Inhale, look between your hands, step up between your hands, coming back into that halfway lift. Exhale, fold over the legs. And inhale, bringing the palms forward and up, look up. Exhale, come to stand in Tadasana. Inhale, palms forward and up, look up. Exhale, folding over the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, this time you can either step back to your plank or jump or float back to chaturanga. Then inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, holding for 5. And for 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Inhale, look between the hands, bend into the knees.
Again, you can either step up between the hands or hop up between the hands, or maybe even coming to a little bit of a handstand or a little bit of a, feel yourself getting a little bit of air time when you hop, jumping towards the front of the mat. Exhale, bringing the feet down, coming into a halfway lift, and then exhale, folding over the legs. Inhale, palms forward and up, look up. Exhale, coming to stand in Tadasana. Inhale, bend the knees deeply, palms forward and up, look up, Utkatasana. Exhale, folding over the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, coming into a halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back into a low lunge. Drop the right knee down towards the floor. Bring the chest up a little bit. Keep the right hand on the floor. Take the left hand to the inside of the left knee, coming to the outside of the left foot, and opening the left knee out towards the side, maybe looking over the left shoulder. Inhale. Exhale, 2 and 3, 4 and 5. Moving the leg all the way back to center. Both hands frame the left foot. Tuck into the right toes. Start to lengthen out into the left leg. Lengthen out into the chest. Your back heel is still lifted. The stance is quite wide. And then exhale, folding all the way over the left leg. Find your breath. Inhale. Exhale, 1 and 2 and 3. Inhale, lengthening out, bending into the left leg, moving all the way back to downward facing dog. On an inhale, moving forward to a plank. Exhale, arms move over, shoulders move over the hands bending to 90 degrees, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, moving forward to a plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest and chin. Moving forward and up, baby cobra. And tucking into the toes, seat to heels. Pushing all the way back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot steps between the hands. Drop the left knee down to the floor, bring the hands to the heart. Hook the left elbow over the right knee. Find the twist first. So you really want to start to push that chest or your belly away from the thigh. Feel like the chest is moving in line with the thumbs, and then maybe start to lift the back knee up off the floor if it feels good. Otherwise, keeping the left knee down is just as good. Find your breath. Inhale. Exhale, 3 and 2 and 1. Hands come either side of the right foot. Bring the left foot to meet the right at the front of the mat, folding all the way over the legs. Inhale, bend knees deeply, palms forward and up, look up, Utkatasana. Exhale, come to stand in Tadasana. Inhale, bend knees deeply, palms forward and up, look up, Utkatasana. Exhale, folding over the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, this time stepping the left foot back into a low lunge, dropping the left knee down towards the floor, staying on the left hand, just lifting up the chest a little bit, and then maybe opening the right leg out towards the side, coming onto the outside of the right foot, and maybe looking over the right shoulder, opening up into the hip. Inhale. Exhale, 3 and 2 and 1. Slowly bringing the knee back to center, lifting up the left knee, and then start to extend into the right leg, lift up into the chest, and exhale, fold all the way over the right leg. Back heel is still lifted, stance is wide. Find your breath. Inhale. Exhale, 3 and 2 and 1. Bending into the right leg, stepping all the way back to downward facing dog. Inhale, moving forward to a plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, moving forward to a plank. Exhale, lowering your knees, chest and chin. Moving forward and up, baby cobra. And tuck the toes.
Seat to heels, push all the way back, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the left foot between the hands. Drop the right knee down to the floor, hands come to the heart. Start to hook the right elbow over the left knee. Find the twist first. And if you feel like you can, and if you want to, maybe lifting the right knee up off the floor, pushing the chest closer towards the thumbs, looking up towards your left elbow. Inhale, exhale, 3, and 2, and 1. Hands come either side of the front foot, stepping the right foot to meet the left at the front of the mat, folding all the way over the legs. Inhale, bend knees deeply, palms forward and up, look up, Utkatasana. Exhale, come to stand in Tadasana. Inhale, bend knees deeply, palms forward and up, look up, Utkatasana. Keeping the legs bent, bring the left knee into the chest, and then cross the left ankle over the left knee, coming into your figure 4, sitting down low, chest is lifted, tailbone slightly tucked. Find your breath, inhale. Exhale, 3, and 2, and 1. Slowly start to bring the left knee into the chest. Bending into both legs, start to square your chest off to the floor, parallel your chest off to the floor. Both legs start to extend and straighten. Left knee is pointing down towards the floor. Coming into warrior 3. Holding for 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Stepping the left foot to the back of the mat, coming into a high lunge, and start to open arms, hips and shoulders, coming into warrior 2. Bending deeply into your right knee. Right knee's pulling out toward your right baby toe, shoulders relaxing away from the ears. Inhale. Exhale, 3, and 2, and 1. From here, start to straighten out into the right leg, bend all the way into the left leg, coming into Skandasana on the left and holding Skandasana. If your heel doesn't touch the floor, that's okay. Coming up onto the heel, maybe you need your hands out in front of you to balance you. See what makes you feel good. Most important thing is this leg, the knee is facing up towards the ceiling, the foot is flexed towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, 3, and 2, and 1. Keeping yourself low, keeping the hands low, moving all the way over to the front foot. Left hand will come to the inside of the right foot, back heel lifts. Then you're going to come onto the outside of both feet, coming into a lounging lizard. The right hand moves towards the left foot, and then on an inhale, lifting the hips up high. Right arm moves all the way to the front of the room. Exhale, drop the hips. Inhale, lift the hips up high for 2. And exhale, drop. Inhale, lifting the hips up high for 3. And from here, you're going to take your right foot and either stack it on top of the left or come into a variation of a side plank that you would like. Inhale. Exhale, 1. And 2. And 3. From here, bending in to the right knee, bring it all the way into the chest, stepping it to the front of the mat. Right hand frames the right foot. Hop the back leg in a little bit, ground into the back foot. Lift up into the chest, and exhale, fold all the way over the right leg. Bringing your chin as close to your shin as you can. Inhale. Exhale, 4. And 3. And 2. And 1, lifting up into the chest.
bending into the right leg and bringing the left foot to meet the right at the front of the mat, folding over. Inhale, bend knees deeply, palms forward and up, look up, Utkatasana. And exhale, come to stand in Tadasana. Inhale, bend knees deeply, palms forward and up, look up, Utkatasana. Keeping the legs bent, bringing the right knee into the chest, hooking the right ankle over the left knee this time, coming into your figure four. Sitting down low, chest is lifting up, inhale. Exhale, 4. And 3. And 2. And 1, straightening out into the left leg, right knee comes back into the chest, bending into both legs, dropping the chest to become parallel to the floor. Right knee becomes parallel to the floor, moving into your warrior 3. Hands can come either side of the hips. Feel that back foot stretching towards the back of the room. Strong back, inhale. Exhale, 3. And 2. 1, stepping the right foot to the back of the mat, coming into a high lunge, then opening arms, hips and shoulders, coming into warrior 2, finding your alignment. Left knee is pulling out towards that left baby toe. Find your breath. Drop shoulders away from the ears. Inhale. Exhale, 3. And 2. And 1. From here, start to straighten out into the left leg, moving all the way over to the right leg, coming into Skandasana on the right, holding here for 5, lifting the chest up. Inhale. Exhale, 4. And 3. And 2. And 1, keeping as low as possible. Hands move all the way back over to the left foot. Right hand moves to the inside of the left foot. Right heel lifts up. And then slowly moving into lounging lizard, coming into the outer edge of both feet. And then inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, drop for 1. Inhale, lift for 2. And exhale, drop. And inhale, lifting for 3. From here, either stacking the left foot on top of the right or coming into a variation of side plank that you wish. Inhale. Exhale, 4. And 3. 2. 1, bringing the left knee all the way into the chest, stepping into the front of the mat, left hand frames the left foot, hopping the right foot in a little bit, extending into the left leg, and exhale, folding all the way over the left leg. Find your breath. Inhale. Exhale, 1. And 2. And 3. And 4. And 5. Inhale, lengthening out into the spine. Rebending into the left leg, bringing the right foot to meet the left at the front of the mat, folding over the legs. Inhale, bend knees deeply, palms forward and up, look up, Utkatasana. Exhale, come to stand in Tadasana. Inhale, bend knees deeply, palms forward and up, look up, Utkatasana. Bringing the left knee into the chest, cross it over the right knee, coming into figure 4. Slowly start to extend, moving into your warrior 3. Before you move on, making sure you find that pose, find that alignment. And stepping all the way to the back of the mat with the left foot. Open arms, hips and shoulders. Warrior 2. Slowly now moving over to the left foot, coming into Skandasana on the left. And then moving and keeping the hands low, moving all the way to the lounging lizard on the right foot. Dropping the hips down. Inhale, lifting the hips up, coming into your side plank just for a moment, whichever one you want. And bringing the knee into the chest, stepping it to the front of the mat. Right hand moves down, hop the back foot in a little bit, lengthen out into the spine. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen into the spine here. Gently bend into the right leg and start to lift the left leg away from the floor and then straightening out into the right leg. Coming into standing splits. So either holding standing splits, or if you want to take a few handstand hops or move into a handstand, see how you go, maybe taking 5 hops or maybe holding the handstand if you can. If you're moving into the handstand, your hands come about a foot distance away from your feet, left leg is lifted, you're gently hopping from the right foot and the right knee, so bending into the right knee and hopping. Yeah? Maybe holding the handstand or doing a few more hops. Completely up to you, see how you go. Landing with the right foot on the floor, left leg is still lifted, bending into both knees, bringing the left knee to the outside of the right ankle, coming to sit. Lengthening out into the spine, right hand moves to the base of the spine, left arm moves up, hooking the left elbow over the right knee, twisting all the way over to the right, finding that twist. Finding that breath. Inhale, lengthens the spine. And exhale, twists a little deeper. And inhale, moving all the way back to center. Exhale to rotate over to the left. And then inhale, moving back through center, setting up for double pigeon or ankle to knee. You want your left shin to be parallel to the front of the mat. Right ankle will dangle over the left knee. If you're happy here, staying here. If you feel like your knee is lifting really, really high, then rather take your right foot in front of your left knee. If this is enough for you, stay here. Otherwise, if you want to take a little bit further, lifting up into the chest, and exhale, folding over both legs. Using your breath here to soften into the hips. On an inhale, and lengthen the body. On an exhale, feel the breath moving down, softening and grounding a little bit more. And slowly making your way all the way back up. Bring the left foot closer towards your sit bone. We're setting up for a few arm balance practices, maybe the start of a few arm balance practices, see how you go. So for this one, you're going to hook the right leg on top of your right upper arm. You're going to bring your hand down underneath or just in front of your right hip. Left hand comes next to your left hip. So if you want to just start off by maybe keeping the left foot on the floor and then lifting the bum up off the floor and then dropping it down, or lifting it and kind of holding it there, see how long you can, and then dropping it down, that's great. If you want to try and move into lifting both legs up off the floor, hook the left ankle over the right ankle. Find your position again. So you really want this right leg to be quite high onto the right upper arm. And then maybe again, just lifting the bum up and holding it there. Yeah? And if you want to move forward, make sure that leg is still lifted high without slipping down. Hooking the left ankle over the right. Lifting the sit bones up off the floor. Moving the legs gently over towards the right and then dropping the chest forward. Maybe holding it there for 5 breaths. So just playing around with your own arm balance. See how you go. Good. And then slowly coming all the way back to where we started with the right foot to the outside of the left knee. From here, you're going to take the right leg all the way to the back of the mat, setting up for pigeon. So making sure that you are not leaning over to the left. You want to make sure that you're sitting up straight, lifting up into the chest. Exhale, folding all the way over the left knee, finding your breath, dropping your head down. And from here, bringing yourself back up to center. Hands move either side of the left knee. Tuck into the right toes. Bring the left knee all the way into the chest. So again, you've got to round those shoulders. You've got to give your chest the space between the mat and the chest. It's got to be that big space to be able to put your leg in between the hands. So you're bringing the knee into the chest and then stepping the left foot between the hands. And stepping the right foot to meet the left at the front of the mat. Folding over the legs. Inhale, bend knees deeply. Palms forward and up, look up at Utkatasana. And exhale, come to stand in Tadasana. Inhale, bend knees deeply, palms forward and up, look up at Utkatasana. This time bringing the right knee into the chest, crossing it over the left knee, coming into your figure four, finishing these poses before we move on, and then slowly starting to straighten, moving into warrior three now on the left. Good. And stepping the right foot to the back of the mat, high lunge. Open arms, hips and shoulders, warrior two. Slowly start to straighten out the left leg. Exhale, moving all the way over to the right, coming into Skandasana. Inhale, keeping low, moving all the way to the front of the mat, moving into your lounging lizard, coming onto the outside of both feet, dropping the hips down to exhale. Inhale, lifting the hips up, moving into your side plank, and bringing the knee all the way into the chest, stepping it between the hands, hopping the back foot in a little bit, lengthening out into the chest. Exhale, folding over the left leg. From here, either moving into your standing splits like we did before. So you bend into the left leg, start to lift the right leg up off the floor, lifting the right foot up towards the ceiling and dropping the head down towards the left shin. Or setting up for your handstand hops. Your hands come about a foot distance in front of the left foot, bending into the left knee and gently hopping, maybe almost up to handstand or fully up to handstand. Just playing around, completely up to you. Yeah? Maybe different on the side. And when you're ready, playing around, bending into both legs and bringing the right knee to the outside of the left ankle, coming to sit down. And taking the left hand to the base of the spine, right arm lifts up this time, hooking the right elbow over the left knee, twisting all the way over to the left. With every inhale, lengthening, and every exhale, twisting a little deeper. Inhale, moving all the way back to center, derotating all the way over to the right, and inhale, moving back to center, setting up again for that ankle to knee pose. Again, it might be different on the side. If the knee is lifting up, rather take the foot out in front of your right knee. Otherwise, make sure that this left foot is dangling off the edge of the right knee. You don't want it to be too far away, that's not going to help. And if you're happy here, staying here, otherwise lengthening out. And exhale, folding all the way over the legs. Trying to keep the feet flexed. Engaging into those feet.
and then dropping the head down. And with every exhale, feel the hips start to soften a little bit more. And from here, moving all the way back up to center. And bring your right heel a little bit closer towards your right hip. Playing around with our arm balance. So this time, the left leg is coming up onto the left upper arm. Left hand moves down to just the inside of the left hip. Right hand to the outside of the right hip. And maybe again, just lifting the sit bones up, keeping that right foot on the floor. Or if you want to take it a little bit further, hooking right ankle over the left ankle and just lifting the sit bones up like that. Maybe holding it there. Or if you want to move further on, lifting the sit bones up, moving the feet all the way over to the left while dropping the chest down and holding it for 5 and 4, 3 and 2, 1, moving all the way back to where we started. Right, left ankle, left foot is over the right knee. And slowly taking the left foot all the way to the back of the mat, setting up for pigeon, lifting up into the chest. Exhale, folding all the way over the right knee. Find your breath. From here, moving all the way back up. Hands frame the right knee. Tuck into the left toes. Bringing the right knee all the way into the chest. And stepping the right foot to the middle of the mat. Coming to the front of the mat. And then bringing the left foot to meet the right at the front of the mat. Folding all the way over the legs. Inhale, bend knees deeply. Palms forward and up. Look up at Utkatasana. Exhale. Come to stand in Tadasana. Taking the feet hip distance apart, lifting up into the chest. Exhale, folding all the way over the legs, grabbing hold of the toes with the peace fingers. Lengthen out into the chest. Exhale, folding all the way over the legs, elbows come out to the sides. Drop the head down. Move the weight of your body into the balls of the feet, so you want to move forward. Sit bones moving up towards the ceiling. And using that belly to pull the chest closer towards the thighs. Inhale. Exhale, 3 and 2 and 1. Inhale, lift up into the chest, straighten out the spine. Take your hands to the floor, bring your feet together. From here, plant your hands and exhale, jump, hop or step back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. From here, drop the knees down to the floor. Keep the feet touching, open the knees wide, untuck the toes and rest the chest in between the thighs and drop the head down towards the floor. It's coming into a child's pose. Slowing down the breath, and slowing down the heart. With every inhale, feel the belly expanding onto the thighs. And every exhale, feel the belly drawing all the way back into the spine. And from here, you're going to interlace your hands in front of you. So 2 options, either setting up for headstand, if headstand is in your practice,
or if you're moving into headstand and practicing headstand and working on headstand, more than welcome to lean up against a wall. If headstand is not in your practice and you are not going there, moving into dolphin. So dolphin, your hands will be interlaced in front of you, elbows will be underneath the shoulders. So a good way to kind of prepare for that is getting the opposite hands into the crooks of each elbow. Even then, I still find the elbows a little bit wide, but completely up to you. And that's a good measure. Making a fist with the hands. I'm going to start tucking into the toes and straightening out the legs, coming into a kind of down dog, but on the elbows. The head will still be dangling off the floor. And this is great prep for strengthening up into the shoulders for your headstand. You may be holding it for 5 breaths and then coming and resting down into child's pose, and maybe doing another one of those, holding for 5 breaths and then coming down into child's pose. See how you go. Maybe you could fit a third in. If you're moving into headstand, the same concept, apart from now the head now moves onto the floor. I like to do headstand with my fists closed, purely because it feels like that way I start to work a little bit more into the shoulders. Everybody's different. You can have the palms open with the head at the back of the palms, but moving to what you know, and then taking the head down towards the floor, and slowly moving the feet closer, and bringing one knee into the chest, and then the other, and then slowly making your way up to headstand. There's no jumping into headstand. It really is very controlled, moving in and out. Maybe holding it here for a good, long, slow 10 breaths. And if you can't, or if you feel like you're tiring, and bringing the legs down slowly, and then resting in child's pose. You got another 5 breaths. Inhale. Exhale 1. And 2. And 3. And 4. And 5, slowly lowering all the way back down. And releasing yourself into child's pose, dropping the head down low. Or if it feels better for you to just come up onto your knees, close the eyes for a bit. Just regain control to the breath, slowing the heart. And from here, slowly taking the hands back to the front of the mat, tucking into the toes. So wherever you are, either in child's pose or you're sitting up on your shins, then slowly move into your downward facing dog. You're rolling all the way into a plank, finding your plank position, and with control, taking yourself all the way down to the mat. Again, really taking it slowly. Belly comes onto the mat. Hands move behind you next to the hips. Palms are facing up. Feet are zipped together. On your next inhale, lifting up head, chest, and feet. Shalabhasana. Inhale. Exhale 1. And 2. 3. Inhale, lifting a little higher. And exhale, releasing all the way down. Bring your right ear down to the floor. Flop the heels out to the sides. And just shimmy into the hips. Loosening out into those hips. Moving the head back to center, interlacing the hands behind the back. Feel the fist drawing towards the heels, zipping the feet together, and the next inhale, lifting up head, chest, and legs, fist drawing towards the heels for 3, and 2, lifting a little higher. Exhale, release the left ear down to the floor, flop the heels out to the sides, and just shimmy into the hips. Bringing the head back to center, bending the legs behind you, grabbing hold of your ankles from the outside. Maybe bringing the toes to touch if they can. If not, when you start to kick up, try and keep the knees parallel. You're starting to push into the pubic bone first, and then start to kick into the hands, lifting up the knees, chest, and shoulders away from the floor. Looking up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, 4. 3, 2, lifting up a little higher, exhale, releasing all the way down, bringing your forearms to the floor, resting your forehead on the forearms and just shimming into the hips. And slowly rolling over onto the back. Keeping the knees bent, feet on the floor. Bring the heels quite close up to the sit bones. Brush the backs of the heels with your fingertips. On your next inhale, you're going to lift lower, middle, upper spine up towards the ceiling, maybe interlacing the hands underneath you, shimming the shoulders in towards each other, lifting the hips high, pulling the lower rib cage in, coming into your half wheel. Inhale. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, and releasing the hands, slowly lowering the upper, middle, and lower spine down towards the floor. Just moving the feet to the outer edges of the mat, bringing the knees into touch, and maybe swaying the legs from side to side. So either moving into another one of those half wheels, you bring your feet back to hip distance, brushing the backs of the heels with the fingertips, and you'll slowly start to lift the lower, middle, upper spine, or moving into your full wheel if it's in your practice. If you're moving into the full wheel, hands come either side of the ears, fingers are facing the shoulders. And on the next inhale, start to push into the legs, lifting all the way up to wheel, arms and legs extending, lifting the hips towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, tucking into the chin, bending into arms, lowering yourself all the way back down to the floor. Again, taking the feet to the outer edges of the mat, dropping the knees into touch. Maybe bringing your left hand to your heart, right hand to the belly, and closing into the eyes just for a moment. Feeling the breath, moving through the nose, through the throat, into the chest, into the belly, and then exhaling from the belly, through the chest, out the throat, and out the nose. Taking some deep inhales and exhales, almost feeling the hands lifting up when the breath gets there, and then dropping with the exhale. And setting up for one more half wheel or full wheel. See where you're going. If you're setting up for the half wheel, you're only going to lift the lower middle upper spine, interlace the fingers and shimmy the shoulders in, pushing the hips towards the ceiling. The full wheel again, taking the hands either side of the ears, fingers facing the shoulders, pushing into the feet and the hands, lifting the hips up high. Inhale, exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Inhale, exhale 3. Inhale, exhale 4. Inhale, exhale 5. Tucking into the chin, slowly lowering yourself all the way down towards the mat, bringing the knees into the chest and giving yourself a little squeeze, maybe rocking it from side to side, maybe moving clockwise with the legs kind of circling and massaging that sacrum, and then anti-clockwise, and moving around a little bit. And from here, rocking yourself all the way up to sit, with the legs out in front of you, so moving those fleshy bits away, lifting up into the chest, exhale, folding all the way over the legs, Paschimottanasana. You're here for a while, so you're here for about 10 breaths. Maybe start not so high, and then slowly start to move a little bit closer towards the legs, or use a strap or a t-shirt if you have one to lengthen out the arms if you can't get to your feet. Trying to keep the shoulder blades drawing back, the spine is long, and folding over the legs. Find your breath. For another 5 breaths, inhale. Exhale 1. And 2. And 3. And 4. And 5, slowly raising all the way up. And bringing the right knee into the chest, drop the right knee out towards the side. Bringing the right foot to the inside of your left thigh, squaring up over the left leg. And then exhale, folding all the way over the left leg. For 5 breaths, inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. And 4. And 5. Lifting the chest up, bringing the right knee in, extending it out in front of you. Left knee moves into the chest, dropping the left knee out towards the side. Left foot comes into your right upper thigh, squaring up over the right leg. Exhale, folding all the way over the right leg. Inhale. Exhale 1. And 2. And 3. 4. And 5. Slowly moving all the way back up. Left knee comes into the chest. Right knee moves into the chest. You're going to bring your arms either side of your shins. Slowly starting to lift the toes up. Coming into Navasana, boat pose. Keeping the chest lifting high. Inhale. Exhale 1. And 2. 3. And 4. And 5 with control, slowly lowering yourself down all the way onto the mat. Dropping the heels and head down last. Then bringing the knees into the chest, open the arms up towards the sides, onto the floor, drop the knees all the way over to the left. Try to keep the knees quite high, and then looking over the right shoulder, coming into a twist. Should feel good. Inhale and exhale. And then slowly bringing the knees all the way back into the chest. This time dropping them over to the right, looking over the left. And starting to slowly release control of the body. And bringing the knees into the chest, grabbing hold of your legs once again, and squeezing everything up. Bringing the head into the knees and really squashing out into the face. Really scrunching the whole body up. And then slowly start to release yourself down onto your mat. Setting up for your Shavasana. Control of the breath. Control of the body. Starting to feel yourself sink into the mat. Just taking as much time as you need to. Really making your way out. Thank you for joining me today. Please stay in your Shavasana for as long as you may need. And I hope you enjoyed my lesson, my class. And if you did, please share it. And let people know that I've finally moved on to YouTube. Namaste.